Hey, by the way, he got in and he debuted, okay? When we met, everybody was talking about how much of a personality she was. Just didn't acknowledge anybody who was talking to her. It's like, you want to talk to me, talk to my manager.
If you talk about diving into the K-wave, we know the exact person who has been up close and personal with your face. Let's welcome Natalie!
Hello!
And if you're a fan,
you're part of the club!
Yeah!
Welcome to a brand new episode of Fan Club.
Hello everyone, I'm Natalie. And I think the reason why they invited me on the show today is because I've had a lot of K experiences.
Yes.
And that mainly involves being an interpreter or a translator for Korean artists when they come to Malaysia.
She's like close, like she's in
their face.
In their face.
And their shoulders are.
Hey, whisper! Very whisper though. Got to translate for Park Seo-joon and then like Song Ji-hyo. What made you pick up Korean?
I took up Korean about 15, 16 years ago. I wanted to take up a language, but I realized I couldn't speak Thai, so I was like, what's another Asian language that I could take? Japanese was very mainstream then, so I'm like, Korean? Maybe. My mom's watching Korean dramas. So it was not particularly because I liked K-pop, although I did enjoy it. It was just a hobby, spare time thing. Right after high school, my mom was like, do you want to go to Korea to learn Korean? I'm like, I've never heard of that before. Is that possible? Next thing I know, I was on a flight.
That's crazy. Shout out to Auntie!
Auntie Sue.
Auntie Sue. The most fashionable auntie, by the way.
I
think it's also so rare to find like a parent who is so supportive.
It was just to take a real class in a university. They'll put you on levels after an exam. Honestly, miraculously, I ended up in the 5th level. 5, I'm like,
immediately she just jumped up there.
The hair in my wind was like, okay girl, check me out.
I'm already like of a certain level.
And I think it's safe to say I was the youngest in the whole course at that point of time. It was from people from all walks of life. And I encourage everyone to go.
But recently we've been watching a lot of TikToks where local Koreans or internationals who study or work there coming forth to TikTok to be like, oh, your K-drama dream all life.
All flowers and fluff. Going holiday there is one thing, but you actually live there, right? It's very different.
I agree to a certain extent. In the dramas, they always portray everything to be like, it's always flowers blooming, you're walking, there's wind in your hair. I think of course a lot of that is filtered out, especially when it comes to their culture. I think it's really just part of respecting someone who is of a higher position than you or someone who is just elder than you. One thing that a lot of K fans I see and I get a little bit shaky inside is that they always just go annyeong, ande.
This one. We just pick up words that we hear from variety shows.
And then you just say it.
But I think in Korea they have big emphasis on formal language and they take that very seriously.
So every time I'm with the artist, they'll be like, annyeong, 지창욱 여기 봐, 여기 봐. It's like, oh no. In my head, stop. You want to make a great impression? Stop.
I guess in Malaysia, it's the equivalent of being like, oi, look here,
I think to them it's being friendly, but the yo is so important. I meet the celebrity, I always call them 배우님, which means Mr. Actor, Miss Actor. It's very hard for me to even call their name sometimes. I don't do she as much because I just feel like, I don't know, for me I need to respect more, I put 님. And actually one culture shock that I have, people will call me 선생님. So to us is like teacher, correct? But I think it's also what they use to refer to someone that they respect, regardless of age.
What would you say are some of the fun memories you had while you lived there?
Spill some tea right here.
Cups are here.
My ears are
I think one of the core memeries is I went to an SM audition, but why I went to it,
audition, guys.
And my Malaysian friend was like, oh, I met this guy and he looks like he's an idol. And then I'm like, idol? Can't be like. I got to know this person and we got close because we were like, I guess same age things. And many months in, I remember one day I was like, hey, you want to hang out? And he was like, oh, okay, sure. So we were in Myeongdong and suddenly this lady came to him and
it's true.
Hey, are you in an agency? And I'm like, what? And then he's like, what? And I'm like, what? The lady gave him a card. And it said SM. He froze because I know he wanted to be. I know he wanted to be.
So that was his dream.
That was his kind of his dream. And we both went to Cafe Pascucci or something like that. We sat there for maybe 1 hour and just like froze. And we just don't know what to do, so we just went to SM. I think every weekend they have like open auditions and something like that. But when we went, the lady saw him there. The lady like freaked out, like, why are you here? So his was supposed to be a private slot. I've already chosen.
Your level is different.
So we went to that. By the way, he got in and he debuted, okay? The people behind the camera are like, The moment we walked in, we saw all these SM artists walking in and out. We were like,
That's crazy.
yeah, Shindong, Kang In.
Oh my god, they were just there.
Like just
We could hear all of them doing their recordings in their own
Because
studios.
his like audition was really at like a private
Yeah,
area.
it was just me and him. Then I'm like, okay, I'm just here to accompany my friend. Then they're like, no, you do. So there's always the thing like, no, my friend is supposed to be the main one.
Yeah.
And as if I thought I was so talented, I scared I outshine him. You know? They will be like, okay, you sing first. So he did everything already.
Yeah.
Friend totally went like
he
all
was-
out. He was great in dancing. He went down to the floor, come up, I'm like, whoa,
Big boy, big boy. Okay.
And then I'm just like, you know, they play some beats and I'm like. But at the end of the day, I found out they just want to know if you got the rhythm. If I knew, I would have just
the beat.
right. No, I don't need to worry
But
so
you
much
were very
about like.
shy. Okay.
The more important thing in that whole process, they were very particular about how your face looks. They made him change into different color of clothes. That time there's no color theory.
Yeah.
They were
Totally
ahead of
color
time.
theory.
They were ahead of
So
time.
during this whole process, my friend cannot speak Korean. I was there to translate and he said he want to. Then I'm like, okay, I feel quite useful right here.
So you were this member's first translator.
He was technically
Someone
first.
Came to Malaysia as a group and I was translating for them.
Full circle moment.
Wow.
And then there are a few years you can still see this person growing and growing and
Yeah.
growing. And at one point it's just his face all over the KLA.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow. Hey, I asked you to go Myeongdong.
Think about it, without her, they would have went to the audition.
Yeah,
Give you a
yeah,
taste
yeah.
of what a translator is would be like.
I didn't choose the
It's
path.
true.
The path chose me. I think I've been privileged to not go look for it. It's always by recommendations of friends or past clients who trust me. So I'm always very appreciative of that.
So like the stars just like aligned.
Everything just became quite aligned. But of course, every time I pick up a job, it's very nerve-wracking because at the end of the day, it's not my first language.
Yeah.
Maybe not even my second language.
It's very fascinating to see, like actually the work that goes into a translator.
I won't consider myself a certified translator where I've gotten a translating because you need to memorize what this person is saying.
I've always thought about that. Like so, because sometimes the sentence they say is like really long, right? Then you're like, what is it actually?
Yeah, and sometimes me being me, I will zone out. So when you're talking for too long, right, I'll be not there already. And then like, oh shit, I have to focus, but I catch the tail end. I know what they're talking about. That's why before every job, if it's about skincare, if it's about the movie, I will make sure I study the product first. Then I know what this person is talking about already. That's why it's important for me to build my own process of how I can do this job well. I'm not speaking for all translators. For me, it's very important that I know the questions up front. So basically, okay, who's coming? I need to know so that I can understand this person's past works. Because at any point of time, they can talk about something. Oh, something in the past I did. Then I don't want to be struggling with, if they say a Korean name of their work, let's say Alchemy of Souls, for example. I wouldn't know it's called Alchemy of Souls if I just followed what he said in Korean. And then that won't make me a great translator because now nobody will know what this show is. So a lot of these things I need to study. So when I ask the person, usually it's not to know, ooh, who am I translating for? It's really just for research purposes. I would need to decide, hey, am I a state translator, media translator, or am I your entourage translator?
There's a difference.
It's different because entourage translators, it's like a day-to-day, you spend a lot of time with them. Basically, you are there to translate if they want to eat nasi goreng, they want to eat fruits, if they need a charger. If entourage translators work really hard. You need to be the first one to arrive and the last one to go. So, and sometimes you will just be outside the hotel room for maybe about 4 or 5 hours. You're just not doing anything. You're just waiting for them to sleep inside. Because you don't know, sometimes they can take a rest.
And then suddenly they need you.
These are things that we don't
see and we don't
Yeah,
see
you need
it.
to be the person in between to do that. But being a media, actually it's called interpreter. You are just on stage, but it's just like a 1-2 hour thing and then you're done.
Right.
Off stage, you will go back to the entourage translator. So if you do want to hang around with the artists, of course, being an entourage translator, you can see so many of their true colors. Being in media, you still see their like put
Media
up front.
self.
Yeah, media self. The reason I'm okay with this job is because at the end of the day, I'm so used to them. It's sort of like, to me, they're also human.
It's true.
Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they just don't feel like interacting with you. I won't interact with them more than what the job asks.
Not naming names, like maybe worst experience where you're like,
I think there's this one who I worked with. I think everybody like always thought that she was a very loving and cheerful girl, personality character. But then like when we met, everybody behind the scenes was talking about how much of a personality she was. Like she was not friendly with anyone. Bodyguards were asking me what's up with her. Is it normal for Koreans to be like that? It was quite surprising even to me.
Bodyguard abangs are quaking.
They're used to so many more people than I am. But this person, right, behind the cameras rolling, it was just like the biggest, a bit like snob. Just didn't acknowledge anybody who was talking to her. It's like, you want to talk to me? Talk to my manager. You're the artist, right? Do you want some water? And then you'll be like. And then you're the manager, you'll be like, hey, no, it's okay, she don't want water.
Poor manager, oh my gosh.
But the fact that the manager had to come up like, don't kacau her.
The manager's probably kena a lot of times.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
It's okay.
Did not even look me in the eye the whole time we were working. All she did was just pass me her ear. It's as if like, I only need to talk to the ear. Like that.
Were you a fan of her?
Yes.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
This is why Bella and I have a thing we don't want to meet our...
Correct. I think this one was a bit disappointing because it's such a huge shift. This guy, girl, idol, actor, actress, they will always at least do a little knock.
That was like the worst experience. Let's talk about the best. We gotta end it on a high, you know?
Oh my god. So I think I can safely say the latest one with Song Ji-hyo. Previously, I think I mentioned on another show before, Kim Tae-hee was one of my my favorites. Song Ji-hyo, in my opinion, is one of the most genuine artist that I've ever seen. Even behind the scenes, she asks and makes sure everybody is taken care of. When we are setting for interviews, I remember everybody had chairs, but because they thought like maybe the host will stand, usually we stand, but because it was a long session, they were like, why don't we sit? So they got like a block for me to sit on. But when she came, right, she immediately recognized that only I didn't have a chair.
Like a proper chair. Wow.
Right, and then when I sat on it, she shook the chair a bit. She's like, 괜찮아요? Like, is it okay that you're on this chair? Are you comfortable? Then I'm like, no, I'm good. It was actually really okay. Yeah, like there was no wrong on the event because she realized I was talking the whole time and she was like, do you want water? She asked me. This is before. This is no camera. She cannot see the water from her angle. So at first she's like, oh okay. But then like she cannot. I went to the manager and she was like, mul, what means water. So I thought, oh, she wanted water. But I wanted to say that her water is there. But I didn't wanna say. So I just like let the manager. But when the manager passed the water, she's like, 여기 물 여기 있어요.
Okay.
And she just asked me to drink the water on the side. So to me, that's a very personal experience. Watching her really appreciating her fans. There's a difference one. Like you can see, right? Her fans are sweating, crying, like phlegm, everything. She uses her bare hands too. She sanitized not because she feels icky. She sanitized after that just because there's the next
person.
Yeah. So I like noticing all these things I told her. It's like when she's coming out on stage, there will be someone who will be like, oh Nia, I want a photo. She hears that, she's like, I'll come back to you. But it's like as if it's like, come back to you. But like maybe 2 hours in the whole event, remembers that person, she will say, I will take a photo with you, come.
Wow. This is not bad. We are not this is the bad.
This is above. She will just do. I have this tattoo here, it says 22. She saw this at the start of the event. After she signed for everyone, the manager and everything was kind enough to say, hey, do you want one? Then I'm like, oh, okay, sure. But she signed, right? She wrote a number 22 at the side. That day she had to sign for what? 300, 400 people. But imagine her remembering that detail. For me, this kind of things you cannot fake. It's because you like care, and that's why you write Natalie 22.
It's true. This is really things that only if you really want to do, and it's like from your like
heart and
only you do.
Values that you believe in.
Like especially the one like you say, oh, I'll take picture with you, and then you go back. Like, I'm not gonna see your picture. You remember?
I can safely say I've seen that happen for maybe 5-6 times. Just in the few hours, 2 days that I spent.
What's my heart? My heart is just like fluffy right now.
Please support Song Ji-hyo.
Please
stand her.
So I was at this fan meeting recently, and it was for this soloist. They had a host who happened to know some Korean, I think, and then he had an interpreter behind the scenes. is the one where you don't see him at all.
Oh, okay.
And I was really frustrated because I know some Korean. A lot of times when the interpreter was in, everything was like wrong, or it was like the key points were wrong. So I was like really upset for the fans.
For the whole thing?
Sometimes like he would go on and on. The artist would say, and then he would look like, why are you not translating?
Oh.
Yeah, like why?
The interpreter was just silent?
Yeah, it's just quiet, and then he's going on, and then he just looked, and he's like that. I was like, hey, like you're being called out by the artist to translate for, you know. The second one was this fan. They were doing like a Q&A. The request was, can you sing Day 6 Zombie? I watched a radio show and you were on it and you sang it. That is how I fell in love with you. So that was what she was trying to tell the artist, right? But the interpreter said, the fan, can you just sing Zombie? That's it. So that's it. That's all he said.
Miscall.
So
There's a
totally different meaning. So then he was a bit taken aback. He's like, like it's just like a request. So he was like, oh, like who wants me to sing? Point isn't that she wants him to sing Zombie. It's a different story.
I see.
So when I saw that, like I was frustrated because I knew what she was telling him, but he got the complete wrong idea. And until now, he never
doesn't know.
I
wasn't there, so I don't know. But maybe because of time, don't know how to cut that short, so rather just say, why don't you sing Zombie? It could be reason number one. Reason number two, maybe as a translator, I'm only eared in with the artist. Maybe he cannot really hear what the girl is saying. Maybe. All these are just maybe. I can see all these possibilities. Also, maybe because he really didn't understand the girl at all. Maybe if he didn't understand the girl at all, it's hard for him to translate. And he picked up Zombie, you like the song. So
that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that came out.
Yeah, I guess sometimes a lot of things can happen. And I think being fans, right, we always see when like after every concert, people are like, why the translator didn't do this,
Yeah.
But I guess a lot goes on behind the scenes that we don't know. Like all these possibilities that maybe they can't hear or this one. So a lot of things can happen, but also I think we should honor and respect the work that the translators do, because without them we won't understand at all our idol. Yeah.
I know we're over time, but I feel I need to share this one short story of what translators need to go through. There was one time where I was in a very tough spot because it was for a girls group. Before the job, one of the junior managers came in to me and said, hey, my girls don't know anything about Malaysian food, so whatever they answer when people ask them what's your favorite food, just package it and say it for them. When the thing was going on, an entourage translator caught on that I did not translate exactly what the person said, but this person did not know that I had that brief. Took the mic away from me on the spot in front of all the press and just said,
she's translating wrongly. You are translating wrongly.
And then the person went on and started to like translate.
Oh my god.
So for me, I'm like,
I would have cried on the spot.
Yeah. So I was shocked, but the whole time I was supposed to do more sessions. They dropped me immediately because everybody else did not know what
the junior manager
did not know. But the junior manager, because it's a junior manager, did not tell senior manager, so the person also kept quiet. Comms. What I'm trying to say here is, as bad as that was, even as a crowd, if you were in a crowd, you would think, hey, actually you're translating wrong. But sometimes you don't know because they may be briefed not to cover certain things or just to package certain things so that you can say it. But these days I don't get that brief anymore. Last time when people didn't really know what nasi lemak, nasi goreng, they cannot memorize these things yet. There's a lot of those kind of like, package it, package it. So maybe that's one of the reasons why sometimes translators don't translate what you hear exactly.
That's good to know.
I thought that was important to share.
It is. So next time in your next concert, next event, just take everything with a hint of salt. You will get what they are saying.
Or you find Natalie Chan.
Please get her to translate.
Okay, so we're gonna go into our next fan meet segment to see
how well does Natalie know.
I'm so bad with new gen.
It's okay.
It's okay, second gen.
Let's go. I'm so scared. Sorry, we have a screen there if you're curious.
3, 2, 1.
Open now, is it open now? Oh my god, I forgot Nana after school Nana.
Kuhara. Kang Minyak.
From CM2.
Oh, this is all on me now. Unite SNSD.
Hey.
Can we just play one more round?
Play one more round.
Colleague is so good at this.
We're like so good.
Why are we so good at this?
Oi.
Joshua 17.
No!
What? Who's this?
B1A4. Go
But he has Joshua's eyes.
It's not Joshua.
Yeah, it's not Joshua, but
I will not win this.
okay.
We just said.
We just said. I failed it. Joshua 17.
Joshua from 17.
He got lucky with the first round.
No, because they don't second gen now.
Yeah. The first one really, they're purely second gen, so
Yeah.
that's why we got it. Oi!
Namjoon.
Okay, plus points lah. She used the real name.
Key, Chinese key. Ember FX.
CL21.
Okay.
It's not me. Sorry.
Suddenly.
Oh, it's not my turn. Okay, good to see you. It's good to see you.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Eric.
Wow, this is a copy of God.
Feel like we did well.
We did well.
I mean, what's important is we
Yeah.
already passed the first round, the important round. Yeah.
You know? Wow, we did well. This is a surprise. I'm proud that we
Second gen.
second gen. Not really, but still got it right. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Fan Club. And thank you, Natalie, for joining
Hey,
us.
thank you for having me.
We had so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the story. Where can our followers find you?
You can follow me on the Net Story on Instagram. I'm on YouTube as well, but Instagram is where I update.
Alright. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
안녕.